Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are ya? So in this series we're going to kind of explore what do you need, what don't you need, what can you get by with not having in your makeup routine as a beginner. And there's a lot of things that are optional. There's a lot of things that I personally think are very, very important. So I'm going to be using the same intro for every video. So if it looks familiar, that's because it is. The second video, we're going to deal with more starting out our base makeup. So without further ado, let's get on to the series. So in today's video, we're going to do our part of our base makeup. And for this, you're going to need 4 different items for this. You're going to need a face primer, going to need a foundation, a concealer, and some sort of setting powder or powder in general. The very first thing that you want to do is have a primer. And why I consider this so important, because primers really help longevity of your makeup, and not only that, they're designed to do different things as well. They have primers that are like de-slick to control oil. There's oil control to do the same thing. There's matte primers out there to help control oil. There's hydrating primers for people with dry skin to give them moisture. There's pore filling primers like what I use to fill in your pores to really give yourself just like a really smooth blank canvas to work with. And it's all about knowing your skin. For me personally, I have very normal skin, but mine leans a little more towards dry because I do live in South Dakota, so the air is pretty cold most of the time. So my skin's it's normal, but it leans more towards dry. So I do have really large pores. Thanks, Mom. So I have to have a pore filling. I need a pore filling primer. So this is my holy grail of holy grail primers. This is the Professional by Benefit. If you have large pores, this is amazing. It's so good. So right here, I'm just taking the primer on my fingers and rubbing it into my face. I sped this process up because it does take me a while because my pores are huge and I gotta fill them with this primer. Because I have craters. The next step is foundation. Foundation is so incredibly just so personalized on what you're looking for. There is a range from like your BB creams that are very, very light coverage to like full coverage, like pancake face is what I like to call it, because I like to be more towards in the middle, leaning more towards very light coverage. I'm kind of in the middle. This is my skin right now. I just have a redness, some scarring. That's my skin. This is the Sassy Chic Moisturizing Foundation. This is something that I found at the dollar store. This is literally a $1 foundation. You get a full fluid ounce, shade matching. I have no tips. I suck at it myself. I'm pretty much at the very light end of everything. This is going to look very light on me, but give it a moment, let it settle into the skin, and it's perfect actually. So I put it on the back of my hand, then I just use my finger and I dot it all over my face. I'm taking my AOA Studio, a $1 brush again. Hey. High definition brush F4. It's just a very nice foundation brush. And now I'm just blending in my foundation. my foundation, I will get a sponge and some setting spray. I'll spray the butt of my sponge, and then I'll go in and just press that foundation in even more. This is something that I learned to do because I have really big pores, and that's that. All right, so the next step is concealer. Now, like I said before, I don't suffer from a lot of breakouts. So if you want to use concealer, you can get one that matches your foundation shade and do that underneath your foundation if you have blemishes to cover them up. For me, I don't really use concealer all that like for that purpose. I use concealer for underneath my eyes and for brightening. So there are people who use it underneath their eyes to hide the bags, but they also match their foundation because they don't want that real big like highlight like beacon on their face. I like that. So I have the LA Colors Conceal It Cover and Correct Concealer in the shade Light. That's just what she looks like. And this is some bomb ass concealer, and it's only $2. So it's got a really crazy applicator. So what I like to do is, you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot because it blends. It blends, it does its job. So I just put just a smidge there. I don't do any highlighting on my face or anything crazy. I just put it underneath my eyes. I think concealer is very, very important, especially to hide those bags under my eyes. It was something from Walmart, and this is their contour brush, but I love using this for underneath my eye. I'm gonna try to do this. I'm gonna be looking down here at my mirror, but what I like to do is just take that brush and make the weird concealer face, and then just kind of spread that out and go in that triangle shape. Okay, and then I just sit here and go back and forth in that V shape and dragging that concealer down, just covering up all those imperfections, saying bye-bye. Bye, Felicia. Bye. Okay. Boom. You already see the difference? Yes. $2 concealer. Hi. How are ya? Okay, I'm gonna try to stay the best that I can here. So again, I'm not using swirly motions. I'm not swiping it. I am literally just patting it in. You don't want to swipe it because then you're going to pull all of all that makeup that's underneath there. You're going to pull it out and move it around. That is definitely not what we want. So like I said, we're just going to sit here and go in that triangle shape and keep patting and patting and patting and patting. Just patting motions. Literally, I'm just sitting here. The brush is literally lifting up from my skin as I move. I'm not swiping because that's going to move everything, and that's not a cute look. Okay. So after that, I do still have some in my brush. So I just like to do my chin, a little bit of the nose. It's not going to be much. The very last step that we're going to do is we're going to set our face. Okay. So now that we have all these liquids on our face, we want to set it with a powder. So that's what we're going to do next. I like using a loose powder for underneath of my eye. Okay, so this is the AOA Studio Perfect Setting Powder in Brightening. This is just a loose powder. You can find the Coty Airspun's really, really good. Maybelline has their, what's it, Maybelline Fit Me loose powder. Phenomenal for setting underneath the eye. So I'm just gonna tap some out in my lid. This is another dollar brush. AOA Studios High Definition Brush in F7. It's like flat and then it's round on top. This is perfect for setting underneath the eyes. Okay, so I'm gonna load my brush. It's got a bunch of powder. Okay, I'm gonna come back in And because this brush is so special, all I have to do is literally stamp that. Because it's just made for going right underneath the eyes and just stamping that in there. Huh? No, I'm not done. Okay. And just keep stamping that in. Okay, I loaded up my brush again. So I'm just gonna flip it over. And I'm literally going to just press that into my skin. Just using that same triangle motion, and I'm just using it to press it in. Just press it in. I didn't realize I was going to use all AOA Studio brushes. But this is the F12, just a giant fluffy powder brush. I'm just going to take some of that and load up my brush. And once again, we're going to pat it in. We're not going to swirl it in. We're going to literally take and press it in. And just keep pressing it in. You don't want to swirl it. You just want to press it in. The only spot that I swirl or drag around is around my neck to blend everything, to set it. So now we're all set. We're ready to go. Nice, pretty, flawless base. And that is this video. Thanks, guys.